Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Millie and today I am showing you a full face of my cheapest makeup. So I went through all my drawers here, and picked out from each category the cheapest products that I have to put together affordable full face of makeup. So the foundation that I'm wearing is £4. The mascara is super cheap, super affordable. The blush is a new one that I tested for the first time today and I love it. The highlighter is my favourite highlighter of all time, and it also happens to be super affordable. So if you want to see what products I used and how I created this look, then just keep on watching. So because this is a full face of my cheapest makeup, I'm not going to be doing all of those extra little steps that I maybe would do if I was splurging and using, extra products and doing those extra steps. So I don't have a primer. I'm going to go straight in with foundation. The foundation that is the cheapest one in my collection is this one from Body Collection England. This is the Illuminating Liquid Foundation Light to Medium Buildable Coverage. I got this from Wilko and it's £4 and it's so good. It's a really nice finish. I have only used this a handful of times and I've never used it on camera, but I was picking this out to use today and then I realised I could do a whole video just on my cheapest makeup, so that's where the video idea came from. So this is in the shade, oh no, I don't know, I think it was Porcelain. They've got an awful shade range, I will say that right from the start. I think there was like 8 or 10 shades, something like that, which is awful. But I mean, I got one that was a little bit close to my skin tone. So no primer, going straight in with 2 pumps of this. It looks thick, but it is just like a light medium coverage. Wow, that's not the best colour match, is it? But we can bronze it up. We can make this work. I would rather be a little bit too pale than a little bit too orange, that's for sure. But it's just a really nice amount of coverage. I don't like a really heavy full coverage feeling on my face. This feels like nothing really. It just tones everything down a little bit, evens everything out a little bit. You can still see my freckles. I don't really have any active breakouts at the minute, so I can't comment on how well they would cover up that sort of redness, but just on what I've got going on today, I really like this. This is the sort of coverage that I prefer, and for £4 you can't go wrong. So for concealer, this is one of my favourite concealers I've ever tried, the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer, and I will show you in this, don't judge me. I have the tiniest little amount left, barely anything at all. I already have a replacement for this. So I like to go in with a flat sort of concealer brush, and I really have to like swirl it in at the minute because it's all just like what's left around the edges. This is so creamy, it's so blendable, it's really good coverage. It's so hydrating, but it gives the nicest finish. So I use this brush and I slap it on in those inner section of my eye sockets, because that's where most of my darkness is, and then just a little bit on the outside of my eyes to sort of lift a little bit, and then whatever I've got left on my brush I'll just keep down the centre. Like I said, I don't really have any active breakouts at the minute, and then I take a more dense brush and just pat and drag that out. I especially love that concealer on like no makeup, just like work days. It's really nice on completely bare skin as well. So for bronzer, I have an Essence bronzer, which I tested out recently but it didn't work with some of my base products, so I'm trying it out again. I'm still going to consider this as like a first impression because I didn't really give it a good go in the last video that I did testing it. This is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. This is in the lighter skin shade 01 Natural. It says matte bronzing powder for a naturally sun-kissed tan, perfect for lighter skin types. Well, that is precisely what I want today. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush and just try and add a bit of colour back into this skin. Okay, so that has added a nice amount of coverage. My only problem is it's not very pigmented, so I was literally having to like pinch my brush together then and really dig it into the pan to get any sort of pigment up on the brush. Like, can you see there's not like a ton on there from like really swirling it in? And I like quite a lot of bronzer, probably because I'm so pale. I do like to add in a lot of that colour, but I just feel like that's a bit subtle, which I suppose could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's not my favourite bronzer. If you're looking for a really cheap bronzer, I would recommend this one over it. This is the MUA Bronzed Perfection Matte in Sunset Tan. And again, it's a really big pan. So it is like the same size, but the colour of the MUA one, which, I mean, you can see how lovely that is. All of the writing is rubbed off it. I just prefer this one. There's more pigment to it, even though it's a little bit more expensive. But, I mean, I've made that work. It's fine. It's just not my favourite. So for blush, I mentioned in my blush collection video, which might have been my last video that you saw, the Barry M cheek and lip tint. This is in the shade Summer Rose. Sorry, I'm just wiping it. It's all dirty around the bottom. Yeah, the shade Summer Rose. And this says on the back of it, I've only just read this, holiday skin in a tube. These dewy blendable tints give a gorgeous flushed finish and are infused with aronia berry to protect, vitamin C to brighten, and hyaluronic acid to plump and moisturise for a real-life healthy glow. I love that, but I don't think I've ever used these on my face, and I can't remember what I thought, but that's what the colour looks like. And I'm going to go in with a brush, I think, because that's how I prefer to use blush. So I'll stamp that into the brush, load it up, and then tap it on. Ooh, that's a really pretty colour. That blush, I feel like, has just completely made my face look so much better when that bronzer didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. It's a really nice level of pigment, but that's just blended out really, really easily. I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush, and that's just blended that out really, really easily. It looks really soft. It doesn't feel sticky at all. That feels really nice, and that colour is beautiful. For brows, I have used this one on my channel recently. This is the Shein Brow Pencil, and it's just a really basic, good, like mechanical pencil. It builds the brows up really, really easily. There's a good colour selection. I'm sure that this is in the shade Brunette. I can't remember. I'm sure it is. It's just a really good brow pencil. It's not the best I've ever tried. It's not the worst I've ever tried. It's just a brow pencil. It's just Shein products aren't the easiest to get your hands on. Obviously they are a Chinese company, so they take about 3 weeks to get to you. So you do have to be patient. But some of the products that I've tried from them have been really, really good. I mean, this is fine. It's a brow pencil. You can get other brow pencils just as easily in this country that are as good as this. But if you were doing a Shein order and you are in need of a brow pencil, then this is a good one. Another really cheap option would be the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This is £3, I do believe, and obviously a lot more accessible. Really, really great colour range as well. So I'm going to do highlight now before I forget. This is one of my all-time favourite highlighters. and it's the most affordable. So this, I mean, you can see how well loved this is. It has been in my makeup bag. This has travelled, and there's still so much product left. This is my favourite highlighter of all time. The Revolution Highlighter Reloaded. This is in the shade Just My Type. I do have a few, but for me and my skin tone and my preferences, this is just the most incredible, subtle but buildable highlight. When I say subtle, I mean it's not chunky. It's a really subtle glow. So let me show you. Like, it does actually just look like you're glowing. Like, it's just the most beautiful finish. It doesn't ever look chunky glittery no matter how much you build it up. And trust me when I say, I have layered this before. This is actually what I wore on my wedding day. It's just so beautiful. It looks wet on the skin, but like when I look front on, you can't even see it. It's just the nicest, softest finish. I love it. The other shades I have one that's a little bit deeper than this for when I am hella tanned, and one that is more icy. This is just my preference at the minute and for the last like couple of years, where it's that sort of warm, real, true, lit from within type of a glow, and it's just beautiful. So my cheapest eyeshadow palette at the minute is this one, which is another Shein product. This is the She Glam Desert palette, and it's got really, really beautiful like pinky, purpley, nude tones in it. I have tested this on my channel before. I will link it above if I remember to. The matte colours are awful. They have barely no pigment to them. They don't build up. They blend out really chunky and like patchy, but this shade, Desert Sage, this one over here, is the most incredible like duochrome pink lilac shade. I will swatch it for you. It's just beautiful. That shade alone is the only reason that I'm keeping this whole palette. Once I have used up all of that shade, I will probably get rid of it because I don't use any of the others. So I've just swatched that on my finger there. Look how, oh, it's just beautiful. Ignore that blusher. Look, oh, it's just so pretty. Can you see when that like catches the light? It's like gold, pink, lilac. It's so pretty. I wear this just like all over the lid, honestly, just on like an everyday basis. I'm just going to wipe that off because I will get it all over my nice white top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and use those bronzy like transition shades, but I remember how bad they were. But I'll try and just do something basic because I do have an eyeliner that I want to use. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush into the shade Casablanca, which is this one down here. They're so powdery. That actually looks okay. I mean, it's just one shade, like blended right out, so it's not going to be anything groundbreaking. I wasn't expecting it to, but considering I like properly jabbed into that, and look how dark it is in the pan, and that's what I've got. Do you see what I mean about the pigment? Like, it's just not really there. So I will do the other eye. So that is just that one shade all over the lid. I'm now going to go in with a flat blending brush, and I'm going to go into that Desert Sage shade. I mean, even look at that on the brush. Look how like chunky and beautiful that looks on the brush. Oh, I love it so much. So I'm just going to pack a little bit of that on all over the lid and just blend that up to that crease shade. And that is all I'm doing today in terms of like any sort of eyeshadow. I'm just going to blend out the edge with that original brush. But that Desert Sage shade is just so beautiful. I would not recommend this palette just for that one shade, but if you have it, it's really, really nice. So for eyeliner, I have a few of these ones from Essence. These are the long-lasting 18-hour waterproof eye pencils. I have the shade 12, I have a green, 35 sparkling brown, and 36 olive hue. I really love all of these. I think I was originally going to use I have a green, which is like a forest green, really deep, intense, beautiful green colour, but I think I'm going to play it quite safe and go with the brown because I do have 2 lip options as well. So these are so creamy. This one, which is sparkling brown, obviously has some shimmer to it. It's so beautiful and they're so easy to use as well. They're so creamy. I think these are like, I can't even remember how much they cost. I'm sure they weren't even as much as £2. They might have been £1.50. They're so nice, so creamy. They really do last all day. I can't talk whilst I do this, I need to concentrate. They're just so easy to use, so I just like scribbled that along and then blended out the wing with an angled brush. So as you can see, that's just added a little bit of definition, a little bit of depth, but so beautiful. It's just such an easy product to use and so creamy, so long lasting. I really would say that they are like waterproof. I can't say that I've ever like gone swimming whilst I'm wearing it or like cried, but they do last really, really well all day, and eyeliners do tend to struggle on my eyes. So for mascara, it has to be this one. This is the Essence Lash Paradise False Lash Effect Mascara, the one that's in like the mint tube. This is so good. It really does give those like false lashes. It's so thickening, it's so lengthening. It like clumps your lashes together, but in a really good way. I love that look. I don't like a really like separated look. I want my lashes to look quite thick and volumized. So this is the one that I would recommend. This is the one that everybody talks about online. It really is that good. The only thing is, for me, I do find that it transfers like up onto my upper lid and also under my eyes. I wish it didn't do that, but it does. It is easily solved by just putting a layer of another mascara over the very like tips of your lashes, I found. So what I normally do when I'm using this on a day-to-day basis is I will build this up to how I want it to be, and then I will go in with something like my Lash Sensational, something that I know doesn't budge on me at all, and I will just like tap it along the ends of my lashes so that it coats the end of the lashes in something that won't transfer. I don't know if this is a problem that other people have. Maybe I just have incredibly sweaty eyelids and it's only a problem that I have, but I do have that problem and it does put me off wearing it like for work. I don't wear this one for work because I just get too hot and I'm too busy running around working to be like checking and wiping when I have marks under my eyes and things like that. So I do recommend it. It is a really, really good mascara, but it's not the most long lasting. So those are my lashes done. As you can see, they're really lengthened. They are really like volumized, really thick, all the good words. I really, really love how this looks. I can't trust it to stay looking like this all day, and that is my only problem with it. Just to show you the mascara, I've had this on for about 5 minutes and you can see it's already transferred under there. So then for lipstick, like I said, I have 2 options because my cheapest lipstick is this teeny tiny one from Kiko, but it's not very easily available. You have to order it directly from the Kiko website, and then you have to pay to get it delivered to you. So although this only cost me £1.75, when you work in all of those extra things, it's not the cheapest. The cheapest one is the e.l.f. Seriously Satin lipsticks. I have this one in the shade Nectar. So this is my cheapest, but this is the most easily accessible cheapest one, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm going to go with the Kiko one first. This is in the shade Rosy Hibiscus, and it's just a warm brown pink nude. It's nothing groundbreaking. That is such a beautiful colour, and I think that that goes quite nicely with the eyes. I feel like I could do with more blush. Really, really cute. I don't know if these are meant to be like little sample ones for like ones that you can get as full size, but I will put on the e.l.f. one too, just to show you. I don't think I've ever worn this lipstick when I am quite so pale. I feel like I just need to knock back the edges a little bit. That looks a bit nuts. That looks better. Just a little bite of colour, you know? That works better, I feel. What do you think? I think that this lipstick works better, but actually I just thought if you wanted to really save, firstly another step, and secondly a bit more money, this is a lip tint. You could use this as well, and then it would be sort of monochromatic because you would have this on your lips and on your cheeks. I feel like I just want a bit more blush. I am a blush kind of gal, so I just want to add a little bit more. So like I said, there are a few steps where I'm like, I wish I had that. Something like, off the top of my head, I'm thinking I would have liked to use like a setting powder, a setting spray. I like to layer products, like I like to layer blush, I like to use a cream and then a powder, that sort of thing. I would also like to have used like a primer, like a pore filling primer, an illuminating primer, a brow gel. I do miss having a brow gel. I feel like they're not looking as fluffy as I normally have them. I mean, they look absolutely fine, but you know, those extra steps do add more. But as a very basic starting point, these products are what I would choose if I was having to really cut back, if I was really having to you know, start my makeup collection, and I was having to start with not a lot of money. These are the cheapest products that I have, some of the cheapest products that I've ever found, and I mean, I've managed to make a full face out of it, so I'm happy. So this is the full face of my cheapest makeup. The foundation is fantastic. The brow pencil is really good. I wouldn't necessarily rebuy it, but I do think that it's a really good option. The blusher is beautiful. One of my favourite things that I found from this video. The eyeliner is really good. The mascara is really good. The eyeshadow is not great, but if you're looking for specifically that like duochrome gold pink lilac colour, it is a good one. The e.l.f. lipsticks are really good. I've got a few different shades of those. They're all fantastic. The highlighter is by far my winner from this video. I love it. The eyeliner, yeah, I'm happy with how this has turned out. I'm happy with how it looks. So if you want to see more videos from me, then please subscribe down below. I have loads of videos coming up, loads of really exciting content that I'm excited to make for you. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye!